Researchers, doctors in the world. As longest-lived people say these 9 habits can revolutionize your life after age 60. The problem boils down to one number. The average life expectancy in the United States at age 65 is now expected to live nearly 19 years longer. According to the CDC, we are almost 20 years away. Which raises a harder question. What exactly are you going to do with them? Here's what the study continues to show, in one study after another. Those in their 60s, 70s, and older aren't the ones with the most retirement accounts, but those who start doing something and keep doing it. First, start exercising every day. If you don't do anything on this list, do it. Adults 65 and older should do at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic exercise a week, combined with muscle strengthening at least twice a week and balance training, the CDC said, and the last is huge because falling becomes one of the greatest risks as they age. A 2019 study in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that regular physical activity in older adults was associated with a 30% decrease in all-cause mortality, a striking finding. 30%, no pill on earth can do that. Here's what most people don't realize. According to the Mayo Clinic, strength training can actually help reverse myopenia, an age-related muscle loss that affects as many as 30% of people over age 60. If you keep telling yourself you are too old to lift, science says the opposite. You are the right age to start lifting weights. Second, start prioritizing your relationship, just as your life depends on it, because it does. In May 2023, U.S. Health Secretary Vivek Murthy released a public health advisory report called Our Isolated Epidemics, which included a statement that each of us should stop catching colds. Loneliness, he wrote, had the health effect of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Again, smoke 15 cigarettes a day, because you are alone. None of this is new. The Harvard Study of Adult Development, which began in 1938 and represents nearly 90 years of data on the true happiness and health of older adults, was summed up in one sentence by the current director, Dr. Robert Waldinger, in his now famous TED speech. Instead, he said, "Good relationships make us happier and healthier. Not money, not fame, not even genetics, but relationships. If your social circle shrinks after your child moves out or retires, rebuilding it is no longer optional. Medicine." Third, start learning something new. Your brain doesn't stop growing at 60, 70, or 80, but it does need something special, a real challenge. As early as 2014, Dr. Dennis Parker, a researcher at the University of Texas at Dallas, began what she called Synapse, which allows older people to learn really difficult new skills, such as quilting and digital photography, rather than crossword puzzles and Sudoku, but which are indeed frustrating and shows significant improvements in memory function. AARP supports this, and lifelong learning is consistently associated with decreased cognitive ability and a reduced risk of dementia. Choose something that scares you a little: language, instruments, pottery, coding, because it doesn't care what it is as long as it is hard and new. Fourth, start eating like the oldest. We actually know who they are. As early as 2005, National Geographic published Dan Buettner's study of what he called the Blue Zone, the world's top 5 centenarians: Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, Costa Rica, Icaria. And what is fascinating about Loma Linda, Calif, 5 culturally diverse places around the world whose diets share several characteristics. They are mostly plant-based and eaten in moderation, rather than fullness. If you want to follow a particular diet, the Mediterranean diet ranks first in U.S. News and World Report in middle age year after year, including 2024 and 2025, when the New England Journal of Medicine published the predicted trial, which found that it reduced major cardiovascular events in high-risk adults by about 30%. You don't need to completely change your life overnight, but adding more vegetables, more olive oil, more fish, and more beans, while cutting back on processed foods, is one of the highest payoff decisions you can make at age 60. Fifth, start protecting your sleep. Adults 65 and older should aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep, more than most people realize, according to the National Sleep Foundation. A study published in 2021 in Nature Communications tracked nearly 8,000 participants with startling results. People in their 50s and 60s who slept 6 hours or less a night had a 30% higher risk of dementia than those who slept 7 hours a day. Sleep is when the brain really cleans itself, which means it is not lazy or casual. If you've been wearing the "I only need 5 hours" badge of honor since you were 60, it is time to retire. Number 6. Start practicing gratitude and mindfulness. That sounds mild, but the study certainly isn't. Dr. Robert Emmons of the University of California, Davis, has studied gratitude for more than 2 decades, starting in 2003. He found that people who kept simple gratitude diaries were happier, more optimistic, and had fewer physical complaints than those who did not mind gratitude. In terms of mindfulness, a 2014 meta-analysis by JAMA Internal Medicine found insufficient evidence that mindfulness meditation programs improved anxiety, depression, and pain. Laura Carstensen, a Stanford psychologist, has also found something worth learning, calling it positive. And her research suggests that older people are actually more likely than younger people to report higher emotional well-being. This is one of the quiet gifts of aging, but only if you lean toward it, not against it. Number 7. Start volunteering. It was a surprise. In 2020, researchers at the Harvard Th School of Public Health published a study in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine, in which adults over 50 volunteered 100 hours or more a year, with significantly lower mortality and depression rates than those who did not volunteer at all. 100 hours sounds long, but it spans a year, resulting in less than 2 hours a week. According to AmeriCorps Advanced Data, about 23% of Americans 65 and older are official volunteers. So about a quarter are volunteers. If you happen to fall into the other 3/4, this may be the easiest time on the list to boost retirement happiness. Number 8. Start taking your money seriously, even now. Nobody wants to talk about it, but ignoring it won't make it disappear. Fidelity estimated in 2024 that retired couples with an average age of 65 might need about $165,000 in after-tax income to pay only for healthcare at retirement, a figure that covers only healthcare, not lifestyle, not holidays, and only medical bills. Meanwhile, the Social Security Administration has reported that average monthly Social Security retirement benefits will fall to about $1,907 by 2024. And the 2024 Social Security Trustee Report predicts that pensions and estate trusts may run out in 2033, unless Congress acts, which does not mean that Social Security is gone, but that planning around it, because your only strategy carries real risks. According to the Federal Reserve's Consumer Finance Survey in 2023, the median retirement savings of Americans aged 65 to 74 are about $200,000, which does not fully cover the future of most people. Whether it is working with a fee-only financial planner, scaling back, or building a small revenue stream, it is a decade of small moves that add up to a huge difference. I'm not a financial advisor, so I take this as information rather than advice, knowing that the worst thing is to do nothing. Number 9. To start a purposeful life, the Japanese have a word for it: ikigai. Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, published in 2016 by H. Torgark A. and Francesco Miralles, is widely disseminated around the world, although the science behind it is older than the book itself. In a 2008 study published in Psychosomatic Medicine, Dr. Son Toshimasa tracked more than 43,000 Japanese adults, and those who reported a clear awareness of Mr. Ikigai had significantly lower mortality rates over 7 years. This is not just a Japanese phenomenon. In 2019, an open study of 6,900 American adults over the age of 50 by the JAMA Network showed that people with the strongest life goals had a lower risk of all-cause death than those with the lowest life goals. Goals can be almost anything: raising grandchildren, mentoring young people in your field, writing books, running small businesses, tending gardens that everyone in your community walks through. It doesn't have to be big, just yours. Combine it all. Act daily, protect your relationships, keep learning, eat like the oldest person on earth, sleep, practice gratitude, volunteer, take your money seriously, and find your goals. None of these 9 habits require you to be rich. None require you to be completely healthy. And each habit is supported by the Harvard Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the U.S. Secretary of Health, and has real research from decades of data. That is what I left you. Colonel Harlan Sanders did not join KFC until he was 62. Grandma Moses didn't start drawing seriously until she was 78. Diana Nyad swam from Cuba to Florida when she was 64. Faja Singh ran a full marathon at age 100. The years after 60 aren't the end of the story. For many, they are the most meaningful chapters. The only real question is whether you start writing today. If this video helps you or your loved ones, share it with them and tell me in your comments which of the 9 videos you will start with.